Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the Imperfect Beauty Podcast. On today's show, it's a little bit different. This one's a family affair, and we have all of the Asetica team here with us today. And for some reason, they've let me host. Who am I? I am Damien Douglas. I work as part of the Asetica team, and I am joined by two icons of the office today. We have the lovely Liz, who is our Director of Patient Coordination. Correct me if you want. It sounds like I'm rapping. Is that right?
That's correct.
And of course, we're joined by the lovely Michelle Furey,
Hello.
who is the boss, but she doesn't like when we call her the boss, so she is our Michelle Furey. Now, so ladies, welcome. Before we begin, I just want to say thanks for coming in and thanks for trusting me and letting me host today's show. Michelle will be taking you through the rest of the episodes. And I suppose it's a tough act to follow when you have to follow me.
I'm actually cringing.
I'm only joking. Yeah, so let's get started. So where will we start? We'll start with you, Liz. I know that you have a lovely family at home.
I do.
So tell us this. How do you manage to juggle family life and work life?
I'm an additional child. Tell them. I'm an additional child.
She's the biggest child that requires...
Work wife.
So that's 5 children you have.
5 children I have in total, yeah. Michelle been the one the most demanding of my time. Wants me to play with her more than
All
any
the
of
time.
them.
Yes.
I'm very lucky because I have a huge support network at home. I have a very supportive husband. I have a very, 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 very generous of her time grown-up daughter who steps in and is, help rearing her younger siblings.
Amazing. And Michelle, I know you have a busy life outside of work as well, juggling many different things. How do you manage, again, to find the time to juggle life at home and life while you're in the office or in work?
I think I multitask and then I rely heavily on Liz. And you, Damien.
Of course.
I would be lost. Everyone would be lost without a Damien in their life as well as a Liz. But I am absolutely, I don't think I do understand the concept of time anymore. I don't really sleep all that much, do I?
No, you're on
High
go
alert,
mode all the time.
So, and then because all the different projects I'm involved in, it's so many different angles that I have to keep on top of. So, I don't know how I'm managing actually. How do you manage?
You just get up and open your eyes and hit the ground running.
Yeah, I think I just do an 18-hour day and that's it. Have
It's
a
like
sleep
you've
with
become
Evie.
immune to it now that you find that you don't even think about it, you just power through it.
Someone said to me it's like flight or fight, and with me then it's 100% fight all the time. So and I just put my head down and get through it. I don't think I would know what it's like to have a full proper day off without me taking a Zoom or talking to somebody or ringing Liz 50 times a day or
Or the odd little reel that Liz likes to send around.
oh
and
Jesus,
gets
the
us cracking
memes,
up.
the memes.
Through the day.
Have you seen my phone? We're going to hell. Some of the stuff she sends me is just insane. Honest to God, so I don't know how Garth doesn't shake his head at me half the time with all the crap that just go on as well.
I don't
Love
know
it.
how he lets us be friends.
Yeah.
Speaking of home life and Gareth, that support there is really, really important to you as well, isn't it? You feel like you found, you fell on your feet there and that you're happy now and he's there for you whenever you feel like things might be going that little
Is
bit
he
wrong.
paying you to do this?
No, actually he's not. It's not.
Because he
It's
forgot
just,
your flowers on Valentine's, so I don't even know why
look,
you're...
it's fine. I won't tell you what he sent me anyway instead.
Yeah, no, he's a huge part. So when I leave Dublin, I've been living in Northern Ireland for a while, and when I leave Dublin and I'm in the car going home, okay, I have 2 hours of phone calls or catching up at work or gossip and laughter and
Reels.
podcasts that you listen to in the background. But the minute I hit the door, and he's just standing there walking out because he obviously owns his own company and he's flat to the boards with his own staff.
So he's also a workaholic.
He's a big workaholic, and
Yeah.
then he's standing there with a big dopey golden retriever. You know what I mean? So it's great when you walk in the door then and it's just complete silence. There's nothing's going to get me in. I can
Amazing.
rest.
It's
I
just
think-
home, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's really, really important for us to talk about these things, especially today, because the people at home see us and see yourselves when they come through the doors of Asetica, and they actually don't know what goes on outside of the work life, and they think that we're just work machines. And of course, you two, especially you two, are really, really work machines, and you have just said it there that with your family lives and outside of work, it's amazing what you can do. And I think it's very special that people at home get to know us now and yourselves on a different level of
It'd be nice to see
yeah.
how they see
Yeah,
us
because
apart from
everyone
the TikToks and
yeah.
the TV shows and
Yeah,
you know
like
all that
people
stuff.
see like yourself and they see Liz and they're like, oh, there's Michelle Furey, there's Liz. Oh, I know Michelle Furey from this and I know Michelle Furey from that. And then that's Liz. Liz is always on the end of the phone for the office and Liz is always there when we need her. And they actually don't know who we actually are outside of there. So I think that's really, really nice. Speaking of who we are, Michelle, I know personally that you come from a very talented family. And I suppose a question maybe people would like to know is that how did you come to go I suppose, a different career path to what people might know you're a family for?
I'm a little bit different than most of my siblings, and obviously all my cousins as well. So music, yes, is in our blood, and like instruments are constantly around the house, like constantly around. And then I grew up behind camera in like RTE and TV3, and well, it was TV3 in the day. Now it's Virgin Media, like so. Or I was at the back of festivals, or long days with my dad when he was recording albums, or traveling everywhere with him, for gigs and festivals. But the reason I went in a different direction is I found a passion in life. And if I put my whole work life into my passion, I'll never work a hard day. And it's not a hard day, really. There's hard moments in the day, So, but I think everyone expected me to go into show business, and I dodged it for a long time, didn't I? And unfortunately for me, now it's caught up with me. So, I suppose I'm celebrated in my family for being different,
Yeah.
whereas other people don't accept that, really. You know what I mean? I've often got trolling. People tell me to go back into my lane.
Yeah.
You should follow in the family footsteps, but I don't have to, really.
And everybody's going to have an opinion and
Oh,
they
God,
think
yeah.
the path you should follow according to them.
Mm.
But your family couldn't be prouder of you.
I know.
Your mum and dad both
Both,
were
yeah.
pride.
My dad is forever out. Like, Jesus Christ, random women. Oh, we've seen your daughter, blah, blah. Oh, come here, listen. You know the way you need your Botox under their heart? I'm like, Dad, you can't say that to women. You can't say they need their Botox. And he's like, oh, no, there was a couple of outings up in the pub. I'm like, Dad, you can't do that. He doesn't see any difference in it, like, so.
But he'd mean no badness or maliciousness
No,
in
no, no,
that.
no. No, promoting me, that way, so.
Like, just touching back there on something that you mentioned with trolling, I think it's really important that we touch a little bit in on the trolling as well. I know you have been trolled yourself, and I'm sure there's many people out that have been trolled.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find, I know it's very hard to deal with, because I can only imagine if somebody said something negative or something about me that I would be the first to bite back, say, and be like, oh, I'm going to defend myself here. And I suppose it's important as well when you have like a big business and your name, it's very important for you to, I suppose the words you could say, keep it professional. How do you manage to you can't get rid of it, you can't put it out of your head, you're obviously dealing with it, so what do you find so difficult about it?
I was once told that if somebody had something negative to say, you need to give them pity because something has gone different in their life and they're happy with themselves, that they're going to reflect it on someone else. And that's great. And I do carry that. I often say, well, listen, there's something else wrong with them. But then there's days where I have to pull myself back and I'm like, well, Jesus Christ. Or, there'll be comments made about my hair, or how my face looks, or the clothes I wear, or my nails, or my last name. I won't lie. There's some days where I'd be sitting, even on my own in the bath and all, and I'd be like pulling myself asunder. There at Christmas, when I was so sick, I lost all the weight from the RSV that I got. I was in hospital and I was so sick. I'd lost nearly 20 pounds.
You couldn't afford, you were so
My
ill
body,
that
yeah, I
time.
couldn't. And then still somebody went on social media and said, God, why don't you take advice on your own? You're out there promoting fat dissolving injections. Why aren't you taking them? Or they'd rip you apart and all sorts. And actually, I nearly at one stage, I was trying to learn how to eat and I couldn't put food in my mouth because I couldn't feel hunger because of the medication I was on. And it got to a point was little days was all big things for me. So if I ate I don't know, a half a saucer or something, it would be, well done you and support, and everyone would be like, oh yeah, or Garrett would be thrilled for me, that way. So, and it's a high five and well done baby. And then there's other days where I'm kind of berating myself and I'm saying maybe I should go on. Only recently, and very, very recently, I was actually contemplating the idea of maybe going on Ozempic because somebody had passed comment at me. So it's kind of you can't really not let it affect you.
You can't please everyone either, yeah.
No.
Liz, you touched on Michelle being your fifth kid, so let's approach that. Let's
It's a kid,
yeah,
darling. It's
your
a kid.
fifth child.
Lily.
Let's approach that question from a motherly perspective then, from your point of view, because you care about Michelle
This
that
is going
much.
to be, go on.
When
answer
you
this
see
truthfully.
people out there and they're trolling, how do you feel? How does it make you feel? And
Well,
what do you think?
It hurts my heart. Straight up, it hurts my heart because she's so special and she's so unique and so giving. And she does things in the background and on the quiet that nobody is aware of. And then it takes one keyboard warrior who's sitting there probably in the middle of their 40s, living with their mother, never goes outside the door. I know that's very, generalised. But to me, these people they're sad. Michelle says they should be pitied. I don't think they should be pitied. I think they should be pulled up for what they're doing. They're intentionally going out to cause somebody harm, to affect somebody's mental health, and to do it to my best friend and somebody who I love so dearly, who is an amazing person. I want to be able to understand these people, but I can't.
Yeah.
Because I can't understand why you would get such a kick or such a high out of hurting and harming somebody.
Yeah.
Who's done nothing on you, nothing bad, negative, hateful or nasty. So I don't think they have to be pitied. I think they need to be pulled up. And it's even worse when you find out who a troll is and they're coming in and out and they're letting themselves be known to you and they're looking for favours from you and pretending to be your friend.
Oh, so like these people that would be potentially figured out could be potential people that would come in to your like
Well,
work,
one in
your life.
particular.
One
one-
in particular, yeah. And it was actually her grammar and bad spelling that gave her away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my name is very common to spell, but like there was a certain way of saying and spelling my name. And I got a Christmas card,
You did, yeah.
which was lovely in self. And we all looked at each other and went, oh my God. And then the penny dropped and it was kind of, we didn't approach her. We didn't need to. We just knew. Just like there was something wrong there. But we knew obviously for the background. But like, for example, the woman that trolled me there when I was quite sick at Christmas, she was giving out saying, oh, my face was frozen with Botox and all this other, like she was really, really nasty about what she was saying. But then a couple of weeks later, then we got messages off her saying, can you help us? I got Botox done in the back of a cabin somewhere in the, back end of beyond, and my face won't move on one side and I don't know who to turn to.
Oh.
And we were stunned. And naturally, I didn't turn her away. Liz was like, no, balls on that now. We need to figure this out. Like, so
Instead of coming and saying, I understand, okay, that she was probably embarrassed and didn't know where to turn. I'd seen yours and your face was flawless and, and then hers was destroyed. But rather than say, look, I'm after being damaged here. I went to the wrong place.
yeah,
Thinking she might have been ridiculed or judged or something.
ripped me apart.
Ripped you apart. And then came back a couple of weeks later and said, look, I'm after tearing you new and can you help me though?
Wow.
And that was after all of like the advice
Like-
that was being given. Like like she'd never been to the clinics
No.
before ever, and then just rip you apart. And then all of a sudden, then she asked for help after she's botched. But you need to. That's where I get my pity from. You know what I mean? They didn't listen. Something else went on in their own world.
Touching on like the botched side of things and like the aesthetics and the clinic, I just want to go into like a little bit about you two as I say, the powerful duo that you are. Okay?
Go on, say the couple.
The
The
power
silly
the
couple.
weirdos, yeah.
What I want to know is let's take it right back to how you first met. Okay, so Liz, tell us, how did you meet Michelle?
And we want the truth now. Watch this now.
The truth
She's a
is,
subscriber on my OnlyFans. No, go on.
I walked at her feet.
Disclaimer, Michelle hasn't got an OnlyFans.
No, I don't have an OnlyFans. I'd
I
be
was
murdered.
sitting outside a hotel in Lithuania waiting to go and have bariatric surgery.
Oh, wow.
I was after flying out on my own, which was fine. That was all fine. Strange city though, sitting there on your own, watching people go by. And this this cab pulls up. It was actually very funny because
It was a cab.
There was a huge amount of
And not a
Irish
lip.
women
There
sitting
was
outside
odd,
of the
yeah.
hotel.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was a cab
No,
and not
no.
a limo.
not a limo.
No.
Surprised she wasn't picking up dogs off the street. But this like force of nature, like the car door swings open. You're wondering her 16-inch stiletto heels clip clopping across the the cobblestones, and there was all these people. And I swear to God, it was really really strange to see because you could see them nudging, like Jesus, look at your one, like, and I don't know. You came over to me and I remember saying to you,
She screamed across the pavement at me.
I did not.
You telling the truth.
All right, Marilyn, rein it
Listen,
back.
The listeners and the
She
viewers don't want to
screamed.
know the truth.
Screamed. I'm here because of you. All over the place. I near died.
Sounds like me, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Few drinks in her, few drinks.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. And I remember saying to you, you did come over to me and you said, "Oh, how's it going?" Blah blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I know you," I said, "But you don't know me." And she said,
Yeah.
"I get that all the time." That was it. And brought me for lunch, took me under her wing. What did you tell me? We were the perfect 10.
Yeah, we were the perfect 10.
Oh, I agree. I think he's that.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I
yeah,
know.
but that's because she was tall and thin and
we
I was
make
short and round.
But no, don't mind her. I had documented everything to do with my surgeries for a couple of years beforehand, so a huge amount of the Irish population had been following me. But I'd gone over for a meeting with the surgeons that rebuilt me. So we all know 5 surgeons have rebuilt me. So I went
Yeah.
over this particular time to my main surgeon, which is Dr. Darius. And I was due to go for a meeting in the afternoon, but the flight had gotten in at 11 o'clock and I met her neighbour sitting outside, and it was all these women that had obviously known me, but nobody would say hello. Only her shouting over here at me. So we've been friends since. Like, so.
Amazing. And now work wives.
Oh, that's
let's
my
call it.
fault. That's
Yeah.
my fault.
well-
She came in to get treatments done in the clinic, and I was like, Liz, I actually need a bit of help. I need somebody normal who knows about plastic surgery, and I need someone with a bit of empathy. And when I asked her to help me, there was no if, buts, and when. That
I
was
think
it.
it's very relatable as well that you're in that job role, because you can relate to those, and you've been through yourself. And
Yeah,
I
and
think
I'm still
people
on a journey.
Love that, yeah.
You know, I'm still on a journey, but the big thing that nobody that you don't even acknowledge is that I was quite sick for well over a decade, and it totally debilitated me, and it took away my
Independence
my
as well.
yeah, absolutely, my ability to work, my confidence, you name it, everything was gone, shot on the floor. And I mean, in one sense, I was very lucky because I was able to be at home and I was able to raise my family, which was a privilege to be able to do. But you lose yourself in that cycle because you lose your identity. So you're Liz and you're so and so's mom, or you're Liz, oh, you have this condition, or Liz, you know what I mean? You're not just Liz. And you saw beyond that. And I remember saying, when you said to me about coming in to do some work, and I said, Michelle, oh God, I'd love
don't
it.
know.
Straight away I was like, I'd love it. And then the doubt crept in. I was like, oh, Jesus, am I able for this?
Yeah, you
am I
are.
able for this? Can I do this? Am I what you're looking for? What if I'm unreliable? You know, I've been pre-programmed for a decade that.
Yeah.
But she gave me back my life.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, bloody did.
I have to say, no, I got more out of it than just your best friend. You know, you've got your partner and soul and loads of stuff. But I also gained a family.
Yeah.
So the kids, especially, we're walking, it's Auntie Shell, you know, or Auntie Ashell. You know what I mean? So
Give me your
it was
head.
brilliant, yeah. So it's the kisses he got off of Austin. He was non-verbal for a long time, and then his
Yeah.
way of communicating with you was unbelievable. Now he's found his voice, thank God, in the last while.
Oh, I
We're
totally
waiting on to
agree.
really explode. But it was the small things that he did. But you knew you were loved when you walked into the house because her oldest daughter was making you a sandwich, or the kids are coming in and showing you different things.
Yeah.
Or her middle daughter is fabulous, absolutely fabulous. And then they're all fabulous. And then you've got we call her the mouse.
The mouse.
She has the sassiest 5-year-old I've ever met in my life.
Well, when I seen the pictures of them and videos of them skiing at 5 years of age,
No,
coming down
no.
the
And she
slope.
doing it she was like an Olympic skier, but didn't give a shit.
Couldn't be any more laid back
No.
about
Yeah,
it.
brilliant.
That's
Unbelievable.
fine.
And then she fancies Garrett as well, so
Oh my God.
couldn't get
Fancy
dressed.
dress.
Yeah.
Fancy
Oh, the
dress.
kids, not
Yeah.
you, Liz.
No, he's like my 7th child.
The family's
even
getting
that,
you're like the
we
Brady
had
Bunch.
dinner on New Year's Day or something, and her daughter wouldn't get dressed. And then when she seen Garrett in the
my
kitchen,
God,
legged
yeah.
upstairs, tights went on, dress on, back to front, and came downstairs, and didn't bat an eyelid at her dad just because Garrett was
Yeah, and
downstairs
Garrett,
with
she
the
was
dog.
like, look at me.
I
Yeah.
love hearing that.
And then we had to show him to she has a dress on. Oh,
And he's like, yeah, great.
Love that. I actually love that. Liz, I'm sorry, but we're going to get a little bit deep here for 1 minute. I'm just going to ask you,
Damien.
okay?
what's he found out?
I just want you, as somebody that's been through this, and I'm sure there's loads of people that's listening and watching that are probably contemplating and thinking about maybe that's the next step for me. Maybe that's what I want to go for. And I don't know
Bariatrics.
how, not just anything to do with even that field of work. How would you describe the feeling of, suppose, making that decision and then the outside, the next end of it, when you come out of it and you're like, oh, I'm glad I've done that. I'm sure, what am I trying to say here is people find it difficult to make those decisions.
Damien, there's a range of emotions that go through
Yeah.
surgeries, any surgery, not just bariatric. And there's a lot of regret as well afterwards
Yes.
and surgical woes. But there's the psychological side of bariatrics is much more deeper than, say, someone going for plastic surgery, because it's not only a change of lifestyle, it's a change of everything.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
got true hunger and then you've got mental hunger. So you've got to distinguish between the two, and your emotions play something, and the psychological side of it, it's horrendous.
Yes.
You know, so what Liz went through is a lot deeper than most people would on a plastic
Yeah.
surgery level.
But I think what I'm trying to touch at there is it was obviously a big decision.
Oh, it
So,
was, yeah.
If the people that are listening and are how did they go about it?
But the one thing I did is that I researched it for 2 years before I did it.
So important.
I've been thinking about it for many, many, many years. And then obviously I was at home, and then I was having babies, and all the time in between babies and rearing children and all, I was it was always there. You know, if I had gone to one more slimming club and
crack
you're up
up.
half a pound this week.
And you know,
The
you
only
have to
thing I
break in your
lost
neck
is a
trying to
tenner
lose
for
it.
you to tell me I'm up half a pound. What do you think you did wrong?
Mm.
Well, okay, I feel patronised here and
That's
very
not gonna
uncomfortable, and I'm not coming back here.
That's
you know
not
what I
going to
mean?
make you feel good.
That's
anyway.
it's not over half a pound. Like, and so I researched, and it was Professor Antanas, and he kept on coming up, and I researched his papers, his history. Like he's obviously he's a professor, so he's teaching, and I thought, I don't care where he is, I'm going to this man,
And he's a lovely manner.
and he's fabulous, isn't he? Like he's so gentle.
We went for dinner with him last Christmas.
We ate more than he did.
And he just sat there and we were hiding, like, because I'm still drinking Coca-Cola. And like, he was on his way in the door and I'd ordered a Coke off the waitress and we were praying she'd get it before he came. And next when the Coke went for me, I knocked it back at one go and put it down. I sat there with brain freeze saying hello to him when he walked in the door. It was just unreal.
He, me and you, these two massive, they were
massive
like the
pots of
size of
muscles,
this,
yeah.
muscles, one each. Like it would have done 4 people. And him
And we
with
got dessert and he comes in and swans in and gets a salad.
a salad.
Yeah, we're like,
Like shame. But no, the one thing, it's any surgery is not to be just taken under on a whim.
Yeah.
If you say on a Monday, I feel like, you know, this is it, I'm going to go and have this surgery now, and you can get a placement on a surgical list in 2 weeks' time, run.
How important do you believe it is for people to, 1, do their research, and 2, make sure they're going to the correct place?
It's the
and
most
safe?
important thing.
Yeah.
It's
so
the most
much I can
important
say.
thing.
I'm bubbling up inside to say more, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I understand.
You have to be informed. You have to be educated. You have to know the pros and the cons. You have to understand that, with bariatrics in particular, your head is going to be feeling something completely different to your body.
Mm-hmm.
They are not going to be in sync for a while. You're going to have to retrain your brain. You're going to have to really reevaluate and completely overhaul your relationship with food. If you have like a bad relationship with food, whether it's you're an overeater, whether you crave sugar, whatever it is, that's going to have to be addressed. Because you can have the tool and the surgery is the tool, but you have to work it, and you have to work it every single day. So people say to you, oh, you didn't lose all that weight by yourself.
You're cheating.
You had the surgery?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what? Yeah, that surgery. Yeah, but still, if I was to go home now and eat 5 Mars bars, that they all have calories. They still go on your body. It's not
Calories are
because you had
calories.
What was
calories. are
killing
calories.
me most was the advertising for the Turkish hospitals.
God.
Because the amount of botchings we see on a daily basis coming into us in aesthetic, or the phone calls, or the pictures, or it got to a point so bad only in the last while that I end up having to leave the room. When some of the women are coming in, you will listen to them, you will understand what's going on. And then they're praising everything to do with the hospital they went to in Turkey. But at the same time, I had 1 or 2 complications, and the complications are massive. Then we had a woman who insisted for no reason, come in, no appointment, no, just turned up in the
yeah, that
clinic.
was
And it just
very-
happened to be on one day that I was in there. And then she was like, I really need to speak to you. Now, we're used to something like that because it could be a domestic violence survivor. It could be somebody that's in the middle of transitioning. There could be a reason they want to just speak to me directly. And like the girls have a word for me to use for triggers inside. So if I feel really uncomfortable, I can write something down on a clipboard and somebody is with me for the second part of the chatting away with someone. But this woman just walked in and she was stunning, wasn't she? Absolutely
Beautiful.
flawless. And stripped off, and then started to tell me about how her breast implants, the last set she had, were at home in a box. She was allowed to keep the buccal fat in her face. She
In
had,
addition, or press.
yeah,
Wow.
oh God, yeah. She had all of her teeth removed and she was giving them on the way home. Like, she was the Jeffrey Dahmer of someone who was like in a really bad place for surgery. And I wasn't the better of it.
No,
Then-
but she should never. See, that woman should never have been given those surgeries.
No, there was no actual testing, no
evaluation done on her. Like, why would you want those things?
We were talking about this on your recently. You need to do proper research because, like, we were following someone there for a while, and like we, really good at what they were doing in their industry. But in our industry, there was no point in them talking about it because they knew nothing. You know what I mean? They were giving advice, medical advice to people.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, and then they're stuck on a group. Like, let's talk about how they managed to be on those pages.
Yeah.
They follow something on Instagram. 10 of them from down the road decide to travel to, say, Turkey. I won't name the hospital. All 10 will go in for surgery. Maybe 6 of them might come out all in one piece. Maybe then might be all 10 of them that come out that don't come out in one piece. Maybe one might have been unalived. There's all different things. And they ask them, how'd you manage to do it? Well, I was on a Facebook page or a WhatsApp group.
WhatsApp group.
Now, it's all well and good if they have someone that can back them up medically. But if they just change out of their lane on a whim and they decide that they're the coordinator for the company and this is what they want, and then they start looking like it and sounding like it, and
Intimidation is
Oh, it's
what's not
amazing.
intimidation? Imitation.
Yeah.
Imitation is
That
the best
fear,
form
yeah.
of flattery. I don't think so. I'd rather not. You're all right. So, and then it was just, you don't see me sitting in a car sucking my teeth and telling somebody how, well, you don't really need to go down to the doctors. Well, what I mean? And you can't do that. You need to give good medical advice
Yeah.
by a doctor.
And
So,
that's
And the right
it.
advice.
yeah, you need
Somebody
to send
who's
them back to
not-
someone who can help them. You know what I
If
mean?
you're
So-
going to somebody who's non-medical requesting or asking a question and they come back and give you medical advice, another flag to run.
I suppose it's like Googling it.
But
like,
I
there's no
wouldn't.
harm in having a reference for somewhere and then do your
Yeah.
own research. But don't go by what that person says, because the amount of people that's contact us and said, like, I need help, or
Yeah.
I can't stand this one, or she's doing a live video and it's causing us to feel like, her voice going through my head. And, the woman is actually quite an intelligent woman in her own field.
Yeah.
But like talking about stuff that she's not 100% sure about, that we got such a fright there for a while. Somebody started to actually morph into me. Everybody was contacting
Yeah, it
us
was
and they were
very
like,
strange. That was very strange.
it was creepy, wasn't it? And they were like, oh my God.
So
she
when you say morph into you, what do you mean by that?
look like me, dress like me, talk like me. Oh, it was
Hair,
insane.
yeah, it was very strange.
Went in my career. What else? Like they did. Jesus, the stuff.
like
they were
literally
doing.
tried to step into your shoes.
Yeah, a lot of
Basically
people had said it
shadowed
to me.
Yeah.
Everything.
And
Yeah.
then she's like, what, 15 years older than me?
Maybe 17 even, I'd say.
Oh, I don't know.
17,
Anyway,
18.
it was just, it was scary how it happened.
kinda
Like, we've
sad.
no problem with somebody having a form of flattery and, doing something, and you want someone to look up to you and stuff like this or work alongside you. But it actually got to a point where I was so blind, I didn't realise it was happening. It was someone else that said it. So,
Michelle, I'm going to go into like let's talk about the LGBTQ plus community
Amazing.
and how important they are, because I know you, and you of course, Liz, you have a big heart when it comes to people in that community, and you will go out of your way to do whatever you can for anyone, even you suppose anyone, and we have of course the lovely people that come in that are domestic violence survivors. That's so important too.
Yeah.
So tell us how careful your approach is towards that, and do you feel like there is like boundaries that are out there? So what I'm trying to say, I suppose,
there's
is that
limitations.
you're afraid
Yeah.
to say something in case it's wrong when you're actually trying to help. Do you feel like that you've come across that in your career, or how would you approach that?
Domestic violence is all genders.
Yeah.
It's all walks of life. There's no distinguishing lines between any of this. When we get somebody that is a domestic violence survivor that comes into the clinic, everyone says, oh, can you tell the two apart? Well, not really. There's a huge amount of, and I'm sorry for saying this, but gay bashing out there. It's incredible. It's horrendous when I see it. When it comes to the transgender community, I see it a lot more as in like there is physical restraints already on these individuals, but there's even worse when they cannot feel comfortable in an environment where they can be themselves.
Yeah.
So for example, we had a wonderful transgender female feel the need to dress male every time they came in somewhere publicly because they didn't want to be judged. And yet when they were able to contact us on the phone and have a conversation, it was like, just come in how you feel like it, not a bother. You'd have the crack and the laugh, and you invite like some of their friends in, and you ask their family members, like, well, what do you think would make them feel a little bit better? Like, you hear everyone's advice at the end of the day.
And there's still huge challenges.
But they
out
need
there.
to know they're not on their own, Damien.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
what happens is that at the moment, especially with aesthetics, everyone thinks it's glamorous and you look like a doll and it's a woman's world, and it's, it's not. It's in everyone's
It's
world.
in everyone's world, yeah.
So when we
exactly.
talked about coming up with a name for the podcast, the Imperfect Beauty, what is beauty? Well, beauty is the uniqueness in anyone.
Yeah.
I look at somebody and they've got striking blue eyes. Okay, maybe they mightn't have like the features of what's on social media and what's a norm at the moment for beauty, but at the same time, they've got like, a wonderful sense of humor, great personality. They might have the most amazing skin. You know what I mean? There's so many different things about beauty that's out there. The Greeks and the Romans used to think that women that had high bridges on their nose used to be fantastic, and nowadays you see women flat out trying to get like, their nose shortened or a pixie tip or, changing the shape of your face. But then they don't look at beauty in the aspect that we see it in. You're a domestic violence survivor. You have to look in a mirror at someone else's bad decision on your own face.
Yeah.
And it's not your choice for it to be there. So you're made to suffer from the HSE because you don't get the right cosmetic help. What are they going to do? Are they going to just left to rot there because their doctor's going to give them, medication for the symptoms of what they've suffered, but no one's actually addressing it? It's the
Like,
same with the individuals who
I
are
know
transgender.
myself, a lot of people that are transgender, being in that community as a gay man myself, I know people that I know, actually an individual that I know that wouldn't mind me saying it, that actually has a job and works in a hairdresser's, identifies as female. However, the job she works in, they like to address her boy what would have been her male name.
I think that's
That's
disgusting.
awful.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
It shows a level of disrespect. It also shows that that they've no cop on to
No
society.
respect.
Yeah.
Now I know everyone's a left and a right wing. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
of course. There's,
But you need to adapt to the environment you're in,
Yeah.
and you need to respect their boundaries.
Mhm.
You know that way. So a lot of people pull me apart for looking the way I do or anything else it is. But if I was in, say, a hairdressing industry and I changed my hair to a different colour and shortened it, nobody bat an eyelid because, oh, well, she's in that industry, she has access to that. So why all of a sudden then would they pick me apart for trying to look beautiful in my own way? You know that way. So I actually think it's disgusting for what they're doing to your friend. And I really think that there should be out there more training for all of these, especially in the workplace, about
there's
how
still a lot of challenges.
There is, yeah.
disgusting.
But I think is what's always really, really notable about us and our whole team and the clinic is we're actually a safe place.
Yeah, we're a mixed bag. Of
Yeah.
People come in, men, women, whatever, come in to us and you could be sitting there and we're just having a chat and a conversation and next of all somebody will be quite upset something had happened and they're triggered and a lot of
open up.
open
Yeah.
up.
We had a woman who was a domestic violence survivor and she was
Yeah.
being stalked. He was even outside the clinic.
Wow.
You know, I had a massive argument over a TikToker that was filming in the reception area one day, and I went ballistic because there was a girl outside, and she was like, "I'm not going to come in because your woman is clearly filming going in, getting her face done," but didn't realise that the women sitting in front were domestic violence survivors, and they needed to have their privacy. Like, nobody has any idea about the threshold of what's acceptable or not. You know, so I just can't stand someone being encroached on.
And thanks for that. I think it's really lovely for people to be able to hear that as well.
But and for anybody who
open
needs
house.
it, like
Always chocolate.
always chocolate,
Always chocolate.
always crisps, always a cup of tea. The kettle will always be put on. You'll always be given
And you know what,
time.
to be fair, like if they break out into tears, I could be dealing
well,
with a
look,
lot
we're-
that week and I need to have a cry as well. So they're doing me a massive favour for giving me a release.
There's
in the
kisses
moment
and
there.
hugs all around the
Yeah.
place. I mean, even
And
if
friends for life.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean, some of the best people that we
Amazing.
have as clients come
we're
in from the
very
background.
normal. That's
Like-
the thing.
In that short amount of time that I'm even there, I've seen like people from all walks. Like, it's amazing the amount of different personalities and people that come through the doors. And I suppose what's really important from my perspective looking at it is that when I walked through the door the first time, it was, "Hi, how are you?" It wasn't, "Who are you?"
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think that's the way people feel, and
I
that's
think
really
you're really
important.
settled in lovely. Like,
Absolutely,
you
no
poor old
problem
devil,
now.
you've a chair between my office and Liz's one. So, and if I'm throwing chocolate bars across, it's the
I was
back of your
about to
head that
say.
gets it. You know
And
what
the
I mean?
odd
So-
square bar that comes flying
odd
over.
square bar. Or
how's
yeah,
the concussion?
somebody looking for me, they're either ringing your phone or Liz's. Do you know what? Because
Yeah.
I'm not picking up the phone. Like, so.
Yeah, amazing. So I'm going to touch on something that we have, well, some people might have seen recently. You both appeared on Rich House, Poor House, the show that was on television. In that show, we got to meet yourselves. And of course, we got to meet the lovely Amy and her daughter Phoebe. For anyone that has seen the show, they'll know most of this story and how it went. But if you want to take turns, or whoever wants to take the
I have to
reins
do
on
it, will
this
I?
and say how maybe the follow up is going, how is
Well, we'll
things
start
since the
off with
show?
why we ended up on
And-
the show. We didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't go to a casting call. We didn't. There was loads of different things that happened to us. And we often get approached to do shows all the time. We never apply for them. We're not that hard up to go on to a show, like, you know, that way. So some people like spend their whole lives wanting to be famous. This particular day, I got an email off. I was getting my nails done. I got an
Never actually
email, and they'd
forget
asked me,
this.
could they speak to me? We want you to appear on Rich House Poor House. And I was like, what? Why? So I rang Liz and said, they want me to do Rich House Poor House. Am I going on the Poor House? And she just started laughing. So I had said, thanks very much for the interest. However, you know, I'm not really sure about doing it, but thank you so much. I'm sure someone else. And they were like, no, you don't get it, Michelle. I need to talk to you on your own. So he rang me and I said, like, how was it? And he said, listen, we want to change, you know, the aspect of the show. You look after people who are like domestic violence survivors and, you know, people who are coming from different walks. We want to swap their lives with yours, but in the show of Rich House, Poor House. So I didn't want my family to be involved in it. So I was kind of saying, well, listen, I know exactly who to ask. And her neighbours decided to walk into the office and she stuck her head in at me at the desk and she goes, I'm going down to vote. Do you want a coffee? And I said, no, but I want you back at 2:00. And she was like, all right, why? Now, because we were real laid back, you know, whatever. And she was like, oh, okay. So she disappeared. She came back at 2:05 and I was screaming at her down the corridor. I was like, get in here now.
Just see me. running down.
So the producers for the show were on a Zoom, and she came in and she sat down, totally oblivious to the idea of the show. And when she sat down then, and she was like, "Oh, hey, yeah," and she just thought it was something to do with work, and they're probably in there for the surgery team, or something in the background. I'm Liz. How are you? This, and she had the coffee in her hand and everything else of this, and he was like, "Well, the show," and all you could see is the smile wipe off her face. She got quite pale. And I said no because I was going for major surgery, second part of a major surgery. And I was like, no, it's not going to suit me. And while I was away for my surgery, they'd rang every day.
Remember that, yeah.
But they did psychological testing on us. So
wow, and you passed?
I got a gold star.
I got a gold star. She got an hour of psychological testing. I got several hours of psychological testing. And I was wrapped head to toe in like bandages. It was insane. And they were very good. And they had come to us in the home and they'd swapped my house, obviously, with the wonderful Amy Hill, that everyone should know that it works in our booking team.
And how is she?
She's
fabulous.
Amazing.
She's one of us. There's
and
no
she's still
difference.
part of the team.
Oh,
Part
absolutely.
of the team. We'd be lost without her. She runs the entire booking system. And she has no quarrels about anything.
She is the most unassuming,
Laid back.
Tom Hardy, biggest fan
Oh yeah, massive
in the world. She's the biggest heart.
There's a
And
tanning
she's
war
just
at the
so
moment
gentle.
with her.
Oozes that look. Like the minute you speak to her,
Oh,
you
she's
get
so
like
gentle.
love, and it's like, oh, she's full of love, I suppose.
you know
She is though, but
Yeah.
she's mad crack though.
She is.
The crack
Oh,
is
yeah.
the stuff that comes out
Yeah.
of
Tell
her. Like,
me,
so.
I sending you memes. She's sending me memes to Tom Hardy all day long. Good night, Blossom.
Oh, she's so funny. And then obviously we know that I'm living in Northern Ireland. My partner is obviously from Northern Ireland, but he's from the countryside of Northern Ireland, and she's from like Belfast.
Famous.
So
Gareth.
everyone thinks the two of them have the famous Gareth. Everyone thinks the two of them have the same accent, and I can hear the difference between the two of them. You want to hear the pair of them talk to each other. It's actually mind blowing. Like her accent is
Stick to
fast and
email,
more
Liz.
city, So she's a city slicker and he's like a country bumpkin, and it's just so funny between the two of them, like the way they go on.
And you haven't picked up the accent yet.
No, I can't even
Can you
copy
imagine?
it. I can't
How
even.
would the family
Can
take
you
if
imagine?
came home with that?
My dog, I have
Your
a
dog
beautiful
has it.
rescue, and she's from Cork. She's a
She's a Cork living up the north.
She's a southern dog with a Cork accent, but a Cork bark. But she's living in Northern Ireland, but God love her. She's her total daddy's girl, isn't she?
Yeah.
But he'd say something to her, and she looks at him. She gives him the eyes of, say, "Yeah, Jesus." But I think it's an accent barrier that she's having with him at the moment. But she knows like everything about him. Whereas I say something to her, she looks at me as if, say, "Yeah, right, go on, off with yourself." It's a weird environment. But like Amy's fabulous up there with everyone, isn't she?
Yeah, the one thing, it was very hard, wasn't it, Michelle?
And
really.
Phoebe, I think Phoebe was the one that brought us all together more so than the show.
She's the most amazing young
woman,
lady.
yeah.
She
Yeah.
really is.
And she's so
before
crack.
we even met her, when we walked in, it was very triggering for me,
Yes.
personally.
Because Liz is a survivor herself, I felt very guilty for dragging her onto the show.
And she had no reason to be, because I'm a big girl now and I could say no if I wanted to. But you come so far, and then it only takes a split second
you
for
right
something
back.
to bring you right back to a place where you were unsafe and everything was unstable.
Well, you were amazing.
Oh, thanks.
You were both amazing.
You didn't see
Love
the
you.
offcuts to her. Jesus Christ. We
didn't
forgot to
need
turn the
to. I see
microphones
enough.
off and everything.
I see enough offcuts.
Oh, no,
in
no,
the
you want to
office.
hear it. No, if you spoke to our producers, there was 3 sets of producers, but if you spoke to our actual producers, how they didn't go on the alcohol, I don't know. The two of us couldn't keep a straight face the whole way long.
We're like bull kids.
And then I
weren't
ring
we?
in Gareth and asking him, could he sneak us in food?
But the one thing that was evident that really struck with me and you is when we walked in, so the house was bare, but Phoebe's room had
Love. Everything was all lovely.
it was radiating out of the ground. The love, the bond that was there between them, and to
Amy
see
didn't
it,
have much, but Phoebe had everything.
everything.
Which
Yeah.
that's a mum. That's
Yeah.
the mother's
Yeah.
role.
And when you see them together, their interaction together, and they're just a bubble of love, aren't
Yeah, and they're hilarious.
they? They've come through an awful
And
lot.
it's fantastic that you can sit here and talk about it like that now. And there's Amy, and she still is
Oh, yeah,
working.
she's
and
amazing.
for you too,
And will
it's
continue
so
to
special.
be.
But I have to
can
say,
tell.
Phoebe's gas. So they were with us from work there 2 weeks ago. We were out restaurants and stuff. We were down at the clinic for the day, and Phoebe came down because she was off school. And I was driving home, and they had the documentary on Netflix, and I had assumed she'd fallen asleep in the back of the car. And the documentary had ended in a weird way. And actually, is that it? Is that all? Does anyone know what happens next? I was floored laughing the whole way home with her.
But if anybody wants to do anything nice for Phoebe, send her a box of potato, cheese, and onion crisps.
Yeah.
The actual Irish
The actual
ones.
Irish one,
actual
yeah.
Irish
The
one.
Northern
No
Irish
offence
ones
to
are
the Northern
manky.
tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This must be how they grow them up.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll have to ask that
Anyway,
question.
just quickly, before, believe it or not, we're coming to near the end. Before we get to the end, I have a little game I want to play. Something I like to call, looking down the camera, Damien's Dilemma. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions.
About each other?
You want to be very careful
no.
those questions now.
Okay, these are just 3 little quick fire fun questions. So
These are cheap digs at me. Go for it.
no. So the
Someone is
first
sacked on
question
Monday.
is, I'll ask the question and whoever answers first, but don't kill each
pressure.
other, please.
I'm not even looking at you.
Who's the biggest drama queen in
Oh,
work?
Michelle!
Oh, me? Me?
I thought you were going to say me, but it's grand.
Oh, we could have done. Can't
could
you
have shown
rephrase
each
our
other
answer?
the
Well, yes.
Paris.
She's not here. We'll say Paris.
Okay, Paris.
She can't defend herself.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Neutral ground, Paris.
So, the 2 of you are to get arrested. Who's the reason and who's the fault?
I'm the reason she's the fault.
Yeah, 100%.
And what would the reason
100%.
be, Liz?
couldn't I fudge that?
Anything.
We've been out, Damien. You know the answer.
Oh, I do. Right. The last one then is describe. I'll go with Liz first. Describe each other in 3 words. So describe Michelle in 3 words. One of them has to be a lie.
Arrogant,
Oh,
beautiful,
Oh.
and amazing.
I love you too.
Which
But
one's
the other
lie?
one,
Do you want a shoe thrown in your direction? Cause
I was going to say ace, awesome, and amazing, but they'd all be true.
Ah.
Oh, should have my
So
answers.
Liz, you gave us three there. Which one
Three,
was the
three,
lie?
three.
None. Michelle, about Liz.
Independent, reliable, and very much loved. Honest to God, I'd be lost without you.
Again,
She wants you to hold
so
hands
there's
now.
no
You don't get any
lies there.
ideas.
I asked for a lie. Anyway.
Oh, well, right. A bad dresser. There you go. That's a lie.
Okay,
No.
Liz. Come on, quick.
You said
Giving you
3.
6.
You didn't give a lie about Michelle.
did. Yes, call me arrogant.
Called her arrogant.
You, oh my God.
Oops. I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Anyway.
there's more than a chocolate bar going back in his head.
Right. Well, ladies, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for trusting me and letting me interview you. I know
Let
you're
me
probably
ask a
like,
question of the 2 of yous.
okay.
You've run a podcast now for me because I've dragged you on, which is many of a venture. I'm going to have the 2 of yous on for the next while. The Imperfect Beauty, what does it mean to you? What is it?
Collectively,
Yeah.
it's a combination of everything. It's of life factors. It's of day-to-day factors. It's of, not just the outward appearance. The imperfect beauty is a personal struggle.
Yes. And what about you?
For me, the imperfect beauty is how an individual portrays themselves and how they feel when they're beautiful. So no matter who you are, if you feel beautiful, well then look however you want, do whatever you want, and be who you want.
So the show in the next couple of weeks that we'll be filming will have some of the most amazing people on it.
Mm-hmm.
In no way, shape or form are they imperfect beauty. However, they contribute to make sure that anybody's imperfections is beautiful and it's portrayed better.
Yeah.
So I want to thank the 2 of you for supporting me for the rest of the week.
No problem. And thank you both for trusting me. And thanks for answering my questions very honestly. So I suppose that's it. We're signing off. Thank you everyone for listening. And thank you for joining us on this very special first episode of The Imperfect Beauty.